Hello everyone, and welcome to the September 2021 Energetic Insights. For those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Depika Mistry, and I'm an intuitive guide, energy healer, coach, and a consultant. And it's been 2 years now that I've been doing these insights, and it's really for those of you guys that are becoming more and more consciously aware of your intuitive and energetic abilities and are looking for some practical guidance to help you to navigate your way through. So if that sounds like you, welcome, you're here at the right place. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe, I think this must be episode number 24. I have been doing these since September 2019, and I just really want to express my gratitude. Firstly, to my friends that have first started watching these insights and carried on encouraging me to do more. And then to all of you guys that have started watching these insights this year, I am so grateful for you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing these insights. Thank you for sharing your love, and thank you for sharing all that you've gained from these insights. I mean, the feedback for me is just phenomenal, because I kind of started this off from my intention really was to share. I have all this information that's coming through me, and I just really wanted to share that. And also it's more geared up for those of you guys that come from a corporate background, that are quite practical, but also at the same time are sensitive, intuitive, and you've got this energetic side to you, and you know there's this other side to you. So it was just really for an old version of myself. And so I'm just so grateful for those of you guys that have been here and have been watching this and sharing this. Goodness, I'm so grateful. Here's to many more to come. So with that, let's go on and have a look at what are the energies doing this month. What I was shown initially from the guides was that over the next couple of months, it's going to be quite tumultuous, energetically, emotionally, and also sometimes physically for some of us as well. And what the guides were showing me, it's almost like you're kind of going up a really big hill and then coming back down again, and there'll be multiple hills like that. And it said it's leading up to the winter solstice in December. So there's something going on. Exactly what it is, I am not quite sure, but that's just the information that they're giving me. And what they said to me to remind you guys was to remember, think about when you're in those tumultuous energies, whether it's emotional, physical, energetic, is to remember that you are one with the ocean. What happens at the ocean? What happens when you're at the oceans? What happens with the waves? What's going on there? And think back and just focus on the ocean, and what you'll find is that you'll get some of the information about what's going on to help you to navigate your way through those times. What they also said was this is a time for shifting and upgrading and expanding your self-care, and not shying away from the healing journey. This is not the time to shy away from the healing journey. The more we embrace it, the more we go into it, the more we go deeper and wider into it, the freer we're going to become, and the less conflict we're going to be feeling. So that was the key kind of message, overall message that the guys have said to me in terms of the September energies and going forward up until the end of this year. And there's some more messages that have actually come through, because they've been quite vocal this month, or since last month. The guys have been very vocal, so I've got some real direct messages as well here for you, so stay tuned as they come through. Right, before we move on to each of the themes for September, let's take a moment to recap and revisit August. So the 4 key themes for August were lack and limitation awareness, quantum leap, reflection and awareness, and between worlds. So if any of those themes are resonating with you, do go back and have a look, because as always, a lot of the themes are going to be just kind of flowing through each of the months, and we'll also see elements of some of the past themes from past insights coming up and showing up, but in different vibrational frequencies, what their guides are saying. So just become aware of it. You're doing nothing wrong, and that's the key thing. I think what I've heard, and I've even experienced, is that sometimes we feel that we're doing something wrong, and actually we're not. And we feel we're doing something wrong because some of our old stuff, the stuff that we've already worked on, stuff that we've already released, and then we kind of get into this victim stage, which I will go into because it's going to be one of our themes this month. So what the guides really want you to know is that you're not doing anything wrong. This is all part of the journey, and the more conscious and aware that you get of what you're feeling, and the more that you honor it, the easier the journey will become, and the more it will start to flow, and the more it will align. So with that, let's move on to the first theme. And the first theme is I've just got galactic guides. And what I wanted to share here was a direct message from the guides, and then I'll go into it and elaborate the interpretation of that. Okay, so if you just take a deep breath in and out, and you may wish to close your eyes to receive that. And as you receive this message, allow your heart to open up from the front and at the back so that you can receive the energy that comes with this message, which is the most important thing, rather than trying to understand it on a logical level. So the guides go, wait, you are not alone. We're assisting you. We are being where you are. Fear is what you have learnt. Love is what you are. You are on a journey, a transition between fear and love. It's not about acquiring or learning. It's about releasing, unraveling, and unlearning so that you can become all that you are. Embodiment of your truest nature. One with love. And just allow yourself to take a deep breath in and out, allowing yourself to receive that message to whichever aspects of yourself needed to hear that. Right. So that was one of the key messages that actually came through directly from the guides as I was tuning into the September energies. And what I saw with this is about, really taking that step back, because if we're too busy, too in this kind of tunnel vision and focus, we're not going to be able to hear, we're not going to be able to sense, we're not going to be able to see the galactic guides that are here with so many of us. And if you believe in that, great. If you don't, great. Just know that there is a guiding force, especially if you don't believe in galactic guides or anything, esoteric or ethereal. Just know that there is a guiding force, whether it's coming from within you or outside of you, it's all one with you. So just allow yourself, moment by moment, each day, throughout your day, just allow yourself to take a step back and kind of focus on just have the question at hand or in your heart. Where are you being guided? What is being shown to you about you? What is being shown to you about the world that you're living in, your reality, And what are you learning? I think it's really easy for us, when things are so up and down for us at the moment, for many of us, there's the old security that we knew doesn't exist anymore, and we're trying to find our new footing. So when we take a step back and just remember that this experience that we're having as a human being there's something that we're learning from it. So oftentimes we do need to be able to take a step back so that we can see it from a whole new perspective. And when we sit with these questions and know that we're always being guided by this guiding force, whether you believe it's galactic guides, your angelic guides, guides that have been passed on, and loved ones that have passed on. So it could be any guide that you believe in, right? It could even be God, it could be universe, it could be the divine. So just allow yourself to take a step back and lean into the energy of love, the energy of trust, and the energy of freedom. And the more you lean into that, the more expansive and more aware you're going to become. So that was the key message that was coming from the guides. All right, let's move on to theme 2. Theme 2 is called victim consciousness. And gosh, this was so cool, and I've experienced some of this last month, and it is a little bit painful, but when you become aware of what's going on, you can really navigate it and really honor what's going on as well. What the guys were saying is that we are actually moving through this portal, and they call it a clearing gate. So it's almost, if you imagine that you're moving through this portal and it's a cleansing, it's a clearing, and we've gone through so many of them over the last couple of years, and more intensely this year as well. And what they're saying is they're kind of unearthing another level of unconscious victim consciousness. So what you'll find, and what many of us will experience, is this unconscious victim consciousness rising up to the surface. So that means, what that actually means is there's parts of us that are hidden, that are unconscious to us, that is vibrating at a level of victimhood, at a victim energy. So that energy is going to start to surface, and it's going to start to surface within each and every one of us. And for some of us, it's already been surfacing and we've become aware of it. And it's on an individual and a collective level. And it's and they're kind of linked to pre-known wounds, traumas that we know of in this lifetime, and even some of our past lifetime and ancestral. So it's opening up unconscious wounds. So it will feel similar to something that we've already explored or expressed or kind of gone through on that journey, but it also will feel quite new. And for some of us, it will feel quite disorientating. So what it's really doing is bringing up to the surface outdated programming that we don't even know that we're holding, because it's been passed down through our ancestral lineage, or it's something that we've been carrying on a vibrational level unconsciously, which is lying dormant in our energetic field from our past life, or even from childhood. So there's just things that have been dormant that we've been carrying is going to start to awaken and come up. So what the guides were saying, that this energy will kind of feel like a tug of war. So you'll feel like a tug of war is going on within you and also outside of you. So there'll be a tug of war between the heart and the head, the energy of love and fear, and also the energy of control and freedom. So just pay attention to how that might be showing up, and just take a moment. Okay, you know, if you feel this tug of war, what is the tug of war between? What situations happening in your life? What are the thoughts that's coming up? And then just sit with it and just become conscious of it. And as you become conscious with it without fighting what's coming up, which is our natural way of protecting ourselves, we want to go into the fight, or we sometimes go into the freeze state as well, that the more we become with it, we can acknowledge it and see what's actually going on. Also with this, the guides were saying there will be a rise in the energy of blame. So this is a great opportunity of when you feel like you've been blamed for something, or you're blaming someone, you know, just take a moment of looking at it. What are you blaming? Who are you blaming? You know, what are you being blamed for? Why are you blaming, or why are you blamed for whatever you're being blamed for? And then also just take it back. So if you're blaming something, or you're pointing your finger at something or someone or whoever, even it could just be, you could be blaming yourself, right? And I think that is a thing oftentimes, is that we are projecting our blame onto other people or other situations, but actually we're really blaming ourselves. So how do you benefit from pointing the finger at whoever you're pointing the finger at? And that's such a great question to sit with, because that will start to unravel and unearth some of the things that you're not even aware of that you might be doing. And then it will also show up as this victim consciousness, will also show up as this kind of self-righteousness energy, you know, a real definite, this is right and this is wrong, you know, and it will highlight where things are a little bit sticky, or you're tied to a narrative or a programming, or you're fighting for something. So, and what that is doing, it's wanting you to open up. It's wanting you to see it from a different perspective. It's wanting you to kind of open your heart and see what's actually going on. So that's a really great cue. So if you've got a narrative, or you're kind of sticking by your guns, or you're standing, or you're fighting for something, just explore it. It's not to say that what you're standing up for, or fighting against is wrong. It's an opportunity to explore it, to see something about yourself within that which is linked to this victim consciousness. Because you can fight from a place of, you know, you can stand for something from a place of love, or you can stand for something from a place of victimhood. So what this is doing is really unearthing the energy behind what you're standing for. So whatever it is that you're standing for comes from a cleaner line of energy, and that is so important right now, right? And then there's this energy of kind of spiritual and emotional bypassing, and basically there'll be a tendency or need to kind of jump forward or jump on, or just kind of bury it, or kind of move on from this wounded soul aspect. And oftentimes it's a protection mechanism, a self-preservation mechanism. So have a look at, what are you preserving? What are you protecting when it comes to yourself, or even those around you? Or it could be a narrative that you're protecting. It could be a programming or a belief that you're protecting. This is a great opportunity to explore that and unearth that kind of victim energy underneath it. So this is jam-packed, and I feel this energy, this victim conscious energy, is going to continue to unravel over the next coming month. So some of us is going to be really hit with it quite strongly this month, and others will just get bits and pieces of it as we go through the next couple of months. So this is something really to become aware of, and one of the questions that you can really just sit with on each and every day is like, where am I coming from? Am I coming from a place of love? Right? And that's just a really simple question to ask yourself. Am I coming from a place of love? Right? And if the answer is no, then you can explore it. Is it coming from fear? Is it coming from victim consciousness? What is it coming from? And then you can start to just unravel that and release it and get cleaner and cleaner on your energy as well. All right, let's move on to the third theme. And this is called being human. And the guide said, embrace it, honor it, feel it, be it. And the direct message was, you are in a human form for a reason. It comes with its own complexity, and it also comes with its own wisdom. And the more we embrace it, the more we align. So there is something really amazing that is going on at the moment. So this goes beyond, so many of us that are ungrounded or checked out, this might be a little bit difficult for you, but it's really about anchoring your wholeness of who you truly are into your human being and really honoring that human part of yourself. So for some of us, we can tend to check out, may not want to kind of live in this reality of what's going on. But it's really about bringing our humanness to the surface and really honoring that. So parts of this is really about listening, attuning, and aligning. And what the guide showed me was about closing that gap. So this is quite a lot of deep inner work, which is really looking at some of your human wounds as part of you being human right now, but also closing the gap between this projected version of yourself. So oftentimes what's happening is that we are projecting a version of ourselves to ourselves, right? So we're not authentically in alignment with ourselves on an energetic level. So, one of the things about being human is just really honoring, oh, you know what, this is where I am, this is what I'm feeling, this is my emotions, this is my emotional state at the moment, this is my spiritual state at the moment, this is my physical state at the moment, rather than projecting, because oftentimes we get so caught up in the goals and stuff of what we kind of envisioning for ourselves, and there's nothing wrong with that, but what happens, it creates a disconnect with where we are and what we're projecting out. So we often then project a version of ourselves to people around us, the world around us as well, which is not in alignment with who we are. So this being human theme is about closing that gap between our projected version of ourselves and our truest version of ourselves. So what this really means is going deeper into some of our childhood wounds, and not necessarily trauma, right? So the guides were saying it's not necessarily trauma, it's just going into that wounded part of ourselves. And it could just be, when we were really, really sensitive as a child, we saw the world through maybe an energetic perspective and we didn't understand it. So we took that as a wounding, or we checked out, or we dissociated, or we disconnected. It's really about bringing those things in, or how we interpreted our world as a child. So really looking at that aspect of ourselves, and so that each and every part of us we can actually just pull in that human part of us and be really human. I know it sounds really weird, but there's another way of looking at this as well, and you can do this through family constellations. So if you've ever heard of family constellations, Google it and check it out. It's a great healing modality. I think it's done in groups. I'm not sure how it's done these days, but there are ways in which you can do this. And I've got some tips here in which you can do it for yourself. So what I mean by this is that there are some family dynamics that you've been carrying that has then created this projected version of yourself. So have a look. So if you imagine your family around you, so your parents, your siblings, as a child between the ages of 1 and 10, I'm getting, who was around you as a child, right? And then if you can imagine those people around you, and maybe you just start with your immediate family, so your parents and your siblings, right? And just start them. And imagine that they're in front of you. And then you can just call each one up at one time. So call up your father and says, you can tell your father, it hurt me when you. It hurt me when you. And then whatever kind of comes through. And then just say, I am sorry for. So what you're doing is you're creating this healing dynamic for whatever needs to come through when it comes through the energetic dynamics of your family. So there's something here around, you know, really being your human self and acknowledging those energetic dynamics between each and every one of your family members. And you can do this for each and every one person, and you can visualize this as well. So I think this is going to be really, 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 really key to this. And if you want to go deeper with this, this is going to be the theme for the energetic alignment session this month. So we are going to be exploring this in a group setting. So if you're interested in that, I will tell you a little bit more about that towards the end. Right, let's move on to the fourth and final theme. And this one was called Inside Out. And this is really about, you know, if we're someone that is always focused on the outside world, this is about coming in, because what's happening outside of us is happening also inside of us. And the more conscious we become of what's happening inside of us, so if there's something that we're not liking in our outside world, and we see a situation or we hear something or someone behaves in a particular way or someone says something to us and we don't like it or we get triggered, is to go inside and have a look at the narrative, look at the programming and look at the belief, right? And there's something really wonderful that's going on here, because it's almost like the image that I get is this space is being cleared up for us, that we're able to really see ourselves, our inside world, a lot more clearly. And those of us that feel like we're out of control, we have no control, and we're in this state of fear, this is helping us to come back home to ourselves, to really honor what's going on within ourselves and get clear and become more, what's the word? It's not even honest. It's just becoming more in attunement, in alignment, in tune with ourselves and in alignment with who we truly are. So if you're seeing things like, have a look at the energies of greed, overindulgent, right or wrong, blame and responsibility, where energies of shame, judgment show up, and love and hate. And, you know, so have a look at what any of those things that you're admiring about the outside world, hating about the outside world, loving about it, or you think, you know, the outside world is greedy or overindulgent. Where are those aspects within yourself? Where does greed show up for you inside of yourself? Where are you greedy? Where you're overindulgent? It could be that you, like myself, overindulge in some chocolate, and it could be that. So it's just showing you different aspects of yourself and really unearthing that and uncovering that. And where the way that I was shown this is, the guide showed me, is that if you can imagine that you're here, this is the human version of yourself, and then we've got these models of what good looks like. So we've got a model of what a good child looks like, a good girl looks like, a good boy looks like, what a good parent looks like, what a good student looks like, what a good sibling looks like, you know, what a good partner looks like, what a good worker looks like. So if you imagine all what good looks like and all those different kind of elements that I just called, imagine them as bodysuits. And many of us are wearing multiple bodysuits. And each of those bodysuits also comes with a set of narratives, a set of programming, and a set of beliefs. And some of those don't even belong to us. It's just, okay, I'm a parent now. It's almost like, because we're so interconnected now. So we're also picking up the kind of parental. So say you're wearing the parent bodysuit, you're also picking up the parental energy that comes with that bodysuit, which is part of the collective energy as well. So just take a moment to have a look at what are the bodysuits that you're wearing. And then once you kind of have a list of those, have a look at, you know, what is the programmings, the beliefs, the narratives that comes with these bodysuits. And then kind of go into it and have a look to say, what does it help you with? How does this bodysuit help you? You know, what does it block you from receiving? right? And how does it hinder you? So just start to explore it and see the benefits, see the negatives of that bodysuit, and then you can decide consciously to keep it on or to take it off, or to redefine it, to change the narrative, to change the programming, to change the belief. So this is really about, when the more you go inside yourself and more you have a look at how the outside world is, remembering the outside world is a reflection of your inside world, then going inwards to change the outside world from within, the more empowered you're going to feel and the more freer you're also going to feel. So there's so much to this. So I hope those little tidbits are helping you. And oh my goodness, that's it for this insight. So I just really want to say thank you everyone so much for watching this. If you have enjoyed this insight, please do share with your community and do drop me a comment below. Let me know how you found it, and if you've got any questions or if any points resonated with you, please do drop a comment below. If you're watching this on YouTube, do give me a thumbs up, and if you watch this on Facebook and Instagram, hit the heart button. So thank you everyone. And before I close, just to let you know that the energetic alignment session this month is taking place on Sunday, September the 19th. And it's at 6 p.m. UK time, 1 p.m. Eastern, and 10 a.m. Pacific. And the theme this month is on being human. So we're really going to go into it a little bit more deeper in terms of the themes and the family dynamics that are showing up and whatever else kind of comes through. So if you're interested in that, check out the link below and sign up. Otherwise, thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you next month. All right, bye for now.